friends, today we're going to read Kindness is Cooler, Mrs. Ruler by Margery Cuyler, illustrated by Sachiko Yoshikawa. I can't really say it. All right. It was cold, it was rainy, and Mrs. Ruler's class hadn't been outside all week. The students were getting jumpy and grumpy. Anya and Tanya whispered during story time. David pulled Raquel's ponytail, and Raquel stole his hat. Then David grabbed Connor's hat and threw it in the hall. "That's enough! Too rough!" shouted Mrs. Ruler. The bell rang. It was time for recess. As the kids left, Mrs. Ruler kept Anya, Tanya, Connor, and Raquel, and David behind. "Sit down, don't frown," she said. "Now tell me why you think I've kept you in from recess." "We were acting up," mumbled Connor. "That's right, you were being mean to one another, and you acted as if it's cool to be mean. Well, it's not. What is a cooler way to act?" Raquel spoke up. "Kindness is cooler, Mrs. Ruler," she said. "Bravo, a slice of nice makes a mile of smile. You five need to practice being kind. During the next few days, I want you to perform 5 acts of kindness for your family. Then in show and tell, you can share what you did with the rest of the class." David scowled. "What if I don't feel like being kind?" he said. Mrs. Ruler smiled. "Good deeds fill needs. Count on me, you'll see," she said. The next day, Anya and Tanya couldn't wait for the show and tell. When it was their turn, they ran to the front of the class. "We did 10 acts of kindness last night," said Tanya. "Before dinner, I made special placemats. I set the table," said Anya. "I drew hearts on the napkins to show Mom we love her," said Tanya. "I grated the cheese for the macaroni," said Anya. "I helped make the salad," said Tanya. "After dinner, we carried the dishes to the sink," said Anya. "And I loaded the dishwasher," said Tanya. "Well, I took out the garbage," added Anya. "Then I sponged off the table," said Tanya. "And straightened up the chairs," finished Anya. "Mom told us how much she liked our homework. It put her in such a good mood that we want to do more nice things for her." "Bravo," said Miss Ruler. 10 kind acts will lead to more. Give me the chalk and I'll keep score." Then she wrote the twins' deeds on the boards. When she was finished, she looked at David. "What about you?" she said. "Did you practice too?" "No," said David. "I just couldn't get to it." "Oh, please, kindness is cooler," said Mrs. Ruler. After school, Raquel invited Connor over for a play date. She had a new dog and a big family, so there were lots of ways Raquel and Connor could practice being kind. In show and tell the next day, they shared kindness with the class. "We took Puddles for a walk," said Raquel, "and we threw him a ball." "I filled his dish with water," said Connor, "and I gave him some puppy chow," said Raquel. "Puppy chow, wow," said Mrs. Ruler. "Then we built a block tower with my little brother," said Raquel, "and gave Abuelo and Abuela their canes before they went for a walk. And we also helped Raquel's dad carry in groceries from her car." "And I gave my baby sister her bottle," said Raquel. "I count 8, and 8 is great," said Mrs. Ruler. "That's not all," said Connor. "When I got home, I took in the mail. I also carried the clean laundry upstairs." "Bravo," said Mrs. Ruler. "Altogether, you did 10. And how much do the twins' 10 acts and your 10 acts make?" "20, shouted the class. "That's right," said Mrs. Ruler. 20 is plenty. And how about you, David? What did you do?" "Too few for you," said David. The class laughed. "I told my brother I liked his haircut, and I let him use my comb. That's all I could think of." "Well, that's a great start. Keep doing your part," said Mrs. Ruler. Lauren raised her hand. "I want to try some acts of kindness when I get home, too." She said, "Okay, hooray," said Mrs. Ruler. "Let's turn this into a class project. For the rest of the week, I'd like you to bring in some acts of kindness you've done at home. I'll write your acts on paper hearts, and we'll put them on the bulletin board. And I'll also add the ones from the blackboard." More acts: putting clothes away, vacuuming the living room rug, shelving books, let my big brother use my computer, told Dad I liked his shirt, got Sister a Band-Aid when she skinned her knee. And more kindness: cleaned my room, fed the goldfish, emptied the wastebaskets, watered the houseplants, put groceries away, drew pictures with my little sister, told my little sister that she has nice teeth. class really came through. We have so many. We'll need another wall, Mrs. Ruler exclaimed. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. The kids counted until they reached 35. Bravo, said their teacher. Now try skip counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, shouted the class. That's right, you're bright, said Mrs. Ruler. We should keep going with this project. Next, let's try some acts of kindness at school. I'll add those to the wall too. Don't forget, a slice of nice makes a mile of smile. As Miss Ruler kept cutting out more hearts, Connor and Pablo tried some kindness at school. They invited David to sit with them at lunch. But when they finished their sandwiches, David took one of Connor's cookies. Hey, quit it, said Connor. He grabbed David's lunch bags and he threw it over his head. Stop, said Pablo. Don't you remember what Miss Ruler said? Good deeds build needs. David, don't grab. And Connor, you still have 4 cookies. Why don't you just share them with David and me? Oops, said Connor, you're right. For a moment, I forgot about being kind. And Connor gave some cookies to his friends. I agree. Here are 3. Yum, said David. I'm going to ask my babysitter to help me make cookies when I get home. And then you can bring them to school, said Pablo, and share them with the whole class, added Connor. And Mrs. Ruler will congratulate you for being extra kind, said David. But I still won't have done as many acts of kindness as everyone else. So think of other things to catch up, said Pablo. David didn't have to think long. That afternoon, while Caitlin was cleaning the gerbil's cage, the gerbils got loose, and one even jumped to the window's ledge. Mrs. Ruler hopped on the chair. Eat, squeak, she cried. Everyone ran for cover, everyone but David. He chased the gerbils. He scooped them up one by one. Then he set them back where they belonged. Hooray for David, yelled the class. Your acts of kindness are the best, said Mrs. Ruler. Now go home and try the rest. She jumped off the chair and added the acts of kindness from that week to the wall. Mrs. Ruler and the class counted up all the hearts. By now, the class had done 70 acts of kindness. That's great, but wait, said Mrs. Ruler, there's more in store. Let's keep going and spread some kindness beyond our school. There's lots of great acts you can do in the community. But we're just little kids, said David. How can we do stuff outside our house or school? I'll ask your parents to work with you on community kindness, and I'll help too, said Miss Ruler. All it takes is one simple act, one act of kindness that will make the world a better place. If you act from your heart and you do your part, we'll end up with 100 acts of kindness altogether. Now the class was really excited, and David was more excited than anyone else. A few weeks later, the kids shared their acts of community kindness. Mrs. Ruler added more hearts to the wall. Again, the class counted 1, 2, 3 until they got to 99. Uh-oh, said Miss Ruler, we still need one more. Then she paused and thought for a second. I know, let's have a class party. We'll decorate and celebrate 100 acts of kindness. Okay, hooray! Oh boy, and here they list them out. Let's see, family kindness, helping making placemats at the table, draw hearts on dinner napkins, load the dishwashers, take out the garbage, took in the mail, carried clean laundry up the stairs, put clothes away, fed the goldfish, drew pictures with my little sister, watered the houseplants, got my sister a Band-Aid, school kindness. Wiped computer screens, put away chairs after story times, invite a friend to lunch, take a friend to the nurse, got the music teacher a drink of water, shared a ruler with a friend, sharpened pencils, cleaned blackboards, saved a seat on the bus, watered plants, made cookies for the class, caught the escaped gerbil. Community kindness, gave toys to save the children, gave old clothes to the Goodwill, joined my family for a walk, write a thank you letter to the fire department, write a thank you letter to the police department, donated plants to a community garden, collected mittens and hats for the Mitten and Hat Drive, made a birthday cake for the neighbor. So many acts of kindness. Hope you enjoyed the book. Bye, friends.